About 90% of world trade is carried out by shipping. Obviously, maritime transport is by far the most environmentally sustainable and energy efficient mode of transport. As per IMO greenhouse study on 2014, the contribution of shipping was just 2.2% of total greenhouse gases emissions. And obviously, nobody can blame shipping as the main cause of the disaster of our planet. However, shipping community is ready to take all necessary measures and to contribute its fair sharing to the effort of reduction of greenhouse gases. After almost 10 years of deliberation, IMO on April of 2018 adopted the initial strategy. The vision of the strategy is to phase out greenhouse gases emissions from shipping in this century, but of course there is a great difference between vision and achievable targets. Please keep this in mind. Cyprus welcomes the adoption of the initial strategy for the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions from ships, and it's the view that the initial strategy, yes, is ambitious, but at the same time realistic and achievable. The strategy defines short, long, medium, and long-term measures. Short-term measures under consideration are, for example, the EETI improvement, speed management and optimization. Please take into consideration that I will refrain to use the phrase speed reduction. It's very important. Operational measures through SEMP to address emissions from methane and volatile organic compounds, so carbon dioxide is not the only greenhouse gas. There are some that are more, their contribution to the emissions are higher. Among other midterm measures include possible adoption of market-based measures that will cost money. It is expected that quite soon proposals will be submitted for consideration by IMO, and from past experience there will be ideas either to adopt an ETS or a levy system. As an administration, as a country, we are ready to work within IMO in order to define and implement international agreed measures. Collection of data and analyze them at a later stage is a tool for identifying further measures for reduction on greenhouse gas emissions. Unfortunately, and it's well known that there is two systems currently in place. The EU, which is known as MRV, and IMO, which is known as the DSC, Data Collection System, similar systems, but not identical. Soon there will be a development at EU level to amend the regulation. Allow me to say that the alignment of the two systems will not be included on the upcoming procedure by EU. I am in a position to know, because now it's on the public consultation procedure, so what is proposed is on EU website. In the next few months, the EU system will publish the first results by 30 of June 2019, and document of compliance should be placed on board. IMO system is still on the process of collecting data. I will refrain to give more details on MRV regulation, because in this room there are some experienced or ex-experienced verifiers, so please, Dimitris, don't raise any questions on MRV and find me in a difficult situation. Sulphur cap. Let's say that is the most crucial issue in our days. The implementation of the regulation is of a vital importance for the prevention of the environment as well as the human health. The regulation will definitely come into force on January 2020. There is no chance in a million to have any amendment. So prepare yourself for the implementation of the sulphur cap regulation. As from 1st of March 2020, the carriage on board of non-compliance fuel is prohibited. Then, in other words, from the 1st of January 2020, you cannot use non-compliance fuel, and you have 2 months, only 2 months, to get rid of any non-compliance fuel on board. Please follow my advice. Prepare yourself in a position to avoid to have enormous quantities of non-compliance fuel after 1st of March, because my prediction is that you will pay to get rid of it and not to receive back the value of this fuel. Exhaust gas cleaning system. Already Apostolos make a lot of reference on that issue. As an administration, we equally consider and accept many possible solutions to achieve the 2020 regulation, as, for example, use of compliance fuel, alternative fuel, scrubber, the boil of gases method. Procedurally, and in the case of using scrubber, the applicable regulation is Regulation 4 of Annex 6 of MARPOL and not Regulation 14, and is considered to be an equivalent arrangement. And I'm insisting on that because you need the consent of the administration. It's not a procedure between the ship and the RO. You need the consent of the administration. The administration should report this to IMO through the GISIS system. Take note about that procedure, because if your ship is not listed on the GISIS system, that you maybe have problems with port state control authorities. So IMO, in an effort to support companies in the implementation of sulphur cap regulation, they prepare a guideline on that. Ballast water. Since later there will be a panel of experts on ballast water issue, I will limit myself to say that after hard deliberation, the convention was amended and the provision of existing ships are applicable up to 2024. So the period of implementation is between 2019 and 2024. Be proactive enough, choose a system on time, make well in advance arrangement for retrofitting of the system, because it takes time. Companies should pay particular attention on EU regulation on ships recycling. As from December 2016, EU flag ships are recycled only on approved facilities. There is a list of approved facilities in the EU website. As from the beginning of these years, new ships should have on board an inventory certificate accompanied by an approved inventory of hazardous material. In addition to that, a procedure should be on board for how to maintain the inventory of hazardous material. It's a living document, so you should have a procedure how to to monitor it and amend it. For existing ships, this application is mandatory as from the end of 2020. Ships to be recycled before the end of 2020, that means existing ships, because it is impossible to have a new ship going for recycling just after 2 years of the killet, should prepare an inventory of hazardous materials, all parts, should obtain a ship's recycling plan by an approved yard, and the ROs, based on those documents, after survey should issue the ready for recycling certificate. But this is a case just for those ships going for recycling before 2020. After that, then everything will be smooth because you need the certificate for all ships. Marine litter, in the issue of marine litter, an action plan was adopted, and issues like using the garbage record book for ships greater than 100 GT, marking of fishing gears, the charges of grey water that might continue microplastics. We are conscious about that part of the plan. We will see on IMO how the new regulation of the new regimes will be developed. And conclusion, Cyprus is in favor of agreed measures within IMO to define and implement agreed rules for competitive, safe, secure, efficient, environmentally friendly shipping. Thank you.